I don't bother chasing mice around. Oh no, I slink down the alley looking for a fight. Howl into the moonlight on a hot summer night, singing the blues while the lady cats cry. Wild straight cat, you're real gone dry. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cat class and I got cat style. As you can see. Oh, they see that? Do they see the shrunken page? God. Crap. Well, hopefully that fixes it. Yeah? I have it small, like this, so I can see the chat. Oh well. Didn't realize it did that. I thought the frame was blocked. Anyway, I've just resigned to the fact that most of my character design streams are probably going to be more chill streams, more just kind of not really shooting the shit, but just any big plans for the weekend type deal. Because I need to think. Because I didn't hate doing that creature design, a few creature design streams, but it was a lot of me just doing because I forget for streams you kind of need to think out loud a little bit. That ear is not quite right. Oh, that's even worse. That and I hate sketching on stream because it's mostly me just futzing with anatomy and layout. Now, excuse you. Pen. Switching modes without my consent. No chévere. ¿Cómo se dice chill en español? Hace frío? No. Oh, I know be cool or stay cool is se chévere. Yeah, be cool. Se chévere. But that's only because in Spanish class we watched a bunch of music videos in Spanish. I will admit, the majority of my Spanish I get just is from Spanish 2. Spanish 1 and 2. But, yeah. I know enough to listen to the Mexican soap opera. I don't know if it actually is. Que hora es? Because that shit is so funny. If you haven't seen Que hora es, you really should. It is a blessing to anyone with a decent sense of humor and knows at least a little bit of Spanish. same with the... Now, I don't care if people think it's racist or whatever, but if you watch, it's an old Looney Tunes cartoon. They had 2 episodes, Jose and Manuel. They were called Two Crows from Tacos. Oh my god, they were hilarious. They only had 2 episodes. Then they were replaced by the other crows, Heckle and Jekyll. Which watching them, I didn't really care for it. If I had to pick a bird Looney Tune to watch, it would be Foghorn Leghorn, because, oh my god, he's so funny. Mostly because he reminds me of my dad. Just any other old man in my life is just Foghorn Leghorn. Here's a discussion. As I designed Futz with this 16-year-old's receding hairline. Wait, where is hairline supposed to be? It's actually supposed to be up here because forehead, but in cartoons, foreheads are either non-existent or all existent. There we go, that's better. Now it's got more room for expressive eyebrows. Okay. Favorite Looney Tune character? Discuss. Hello.
Food.
What is this?
PB&J with some chips.
Okay. Thank you.
I was gonna give you raspberry and boysenberry, but we only have boysenberry, so.
Are you we have strawberry.
No, we got peach.
No, there's strawberry in there, unless Dad finished it. It's the second shelf behind the salsa.
You might have finished it.
But I could have sworn we had a jar in there.
I'll check, but...
I know the raspberry's running low.
Yeah.
Or ran low. Anyway, I will eat the chips later.
Yeah, sorry. My brain was like, yes, sandwich and chips, and then it just kicked in. It's like, no, you idiot.
Alright, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamutzilech hamirat amen.
Amen.
Anyone of you listening back want to know what the fuck I just said, convert to Judaism. It's the Jewish prayer for bread, because the only time Jews really pray before a meal is for the bread and for the wine. We usually pray after our meal. And after you have been satisfied, you thank God for the sustenance.
Oh, we do have strawberry.
See, I told you. See, I told you we had strawberry.
I didn't see it. It was with the rest of the jam.
Does his face match the... Well, it definitely doesn't match the style. Does his face match the rest of the style? Now, David, who's his father, was one of the first characters I redesigned with this style. Not the first, but one of the first. So, he looks a little different. What? I gave you a piece already. Dumb me for thinking that... I'm not sure what the problem is. Like, this is Iris, his older sister. Not spoilers or anything. I try to keep my streams as spoiler-free as possible, especially when I'm working on my stuff. That's better. His head was too tall. Okay, there we go. That's better. And yeah, I know he's not lean, but he's a teenager and living in the inner city. He can lean all he wants. Okay, this is... it's not introducing these characters isn't really a spoiler, but how they're introduced kind of is. So I'm just going to say that this is Balake, or Blake. He is the son of David Evans, who is a leader of a gang called the Stray Cats. And they have close relations with the Shia tribe in my graphic novel Dreamwalkers. And it's not really, I mean, it sort of is mutually beneficial. It became mutually beneficial years later. That is a bad idea. Sorry, I don't know how to draw sideburns because I don't have any. I mean, usually it's like right here and then that, but I don't know. His dad's got some, because I don't know how to draw sideburns because he gets full facial hair. But Blake sadly did not inherit those genes. I mostly say that, oh yeah, my characters, they could have facial hair, but they choose not to. And the only characters I have that have facial hair are middle-aged men, or like men in their 30s, early 30s, late 20s, that are dads and have a smoking problem. Only people in my stories are allowed to have facial hair. And I say that as a joke, but it's literally only like two of my characters is David and Brian from a different story of mine, Project Reclaim. But that is neither here nor there. Oh god, I'm Mr. Hippo. Well, my friend, you have met a terrible, terrible end. I mean, if it wasn't going to be me, it was just going to be somebody else. I don't know about y'all, but I think Mr. Hippo is a joy. He's wonderful. And I'm not saying that just because his voice actor is also Funtime Foxy, who is another one of my favorites. You stop. Don't be bratty. Oh my god, this is funny. I think Mr. Hippo is great. Anyway, we were talking about Looney Tunes. My favorite's Marvin Martian. I don't care what anybody else says. I mean, yeah, of course, people like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, especially in the newer series, which I don't mind what they've done with Bugs' character in the, well, it's not really a new show. It's been out for a while, but the newer version of Looney Tunes making Bugs Bunny the sane one, which, I mean, if you've watched an original Bugs Bunny cartoon, you will know that Bugs Bunny is far from being sane. But they had to make him the sane one to counter Daffy just being a narcissistic asshole. A lovable narcissist. But a narcissist all the same. Okay, in this original ref, he had ripped jeans. Yeah, okay. He has to cuff them. Because all pants are too... He keeps buying new pants, but they always seem to be too long on him. For whatever reason. Or because he doesn't know how to sew. They didn't know how to sew. David sure as hell doesn't know how to sew. I mean, look at him. Does this look like a man who knows how to sew? I did. Okay. Forgot I had this. I like to think that, oh yeah, he has a sleeveless denim jacket because it looks cool because he's a gang leader and whatnot. But in actuality, it got like a stain on it and the sleeves were ripped and he's just, fuck it. Just cut the sleeves off. Because his wife was like, you need to fix that jacket. I'm not going to fix it for you because you're the one who keeps messing it. You need to fix that jacket. And he's like, all right. And then just snip. Took him a while because he was using paper scissors. Because anyone knows when you live in a house with a person who owns fabric scissors, if you use it for anything other than fabric, they will enact such horrible, horrendous, and just starring acts of violence against you for even suggesting that you borrow their scissors to like wrap some presents or something like that. Horrible acts of violence. I may say knitting is calming and a very surreal and zen experience. And I'm sitting there watching them sewing. I've never heard such profanity from someone who wasn't a sailor. Actually, I should say, because no one actually... Cussing like a sailor is a very outdated term. So, you're cussing like a... I want to say gamer, but I want to be specific. Like a Rocket League gamer. I think that's relevant. How do you do, fellow kids? I'm a Gen Z, I swear. Yeah. Actually, the most profanity from an adult I've heard is probably from my, in person, the most profanity I've ever heard from an adult. Well, I would say my dad because I've been around him longer, but like in one sitting, the most profanity I heard from an adult was story time. It was winter 2017, 2016-ish area. Around parts. It's winter. And my mom and I are coming back from the city in our area for college and whatnot. Actually, it would be like that. Okay. And to get back to our neck of the woods, you have to go up this really big hill slash... I mean, it's sort of a canyon, but you have to get up this big-ass hill. It's really steep and windy, and the snowplows hadn't come by yet. That arm is so wrong. I'm going to figure out this arm while I tell this story. So the snowplows haven't gone by yet. And it wasn't like coming down hard. It was just very slick. And we kept sliding. Luckily, right before the hill is a gas station. So we decided to just pull back into the gas station and kind of just hang out there waiting for the snowplow to go by. And this gas station also had a Subway and a fried chicken thing or another. Something or another. And it was also a bus stop, so it was always like open and whatnot. So we stopped there just to wait out the snow. I called my dad saying, either you could come get us with his truck, because we were in a van, but the van was, I think it's front wheel drive. Anyway, we're sitting in this gas station lobby Subway something or another. And I think we ordered a coffee because it was kind of cold out. Okay, I think that's better. And I'm in the building, all right? And you know, if you've been to a Subway, they always have a fan on that is so freaking loud that I don't care how loud you are. Like, I'm talking loud louder than I normally would talk because I always feel like the mic can't pick me up, even though it does. I could be talking, like actually yelling over the counter, and they're like, "Some what?" It's like, "Can I have some onions?" It's like, "Sorry?" Like, that's why I just resorted to just pointing. And I think everyone does that at Subway. You just point to the things you want, even if you're like, it's like, "Hey, can I have some can I have some cabbage?" Those are onions. Or whatever. Yeah, just point to the things you want and they get it for you. Anyway, so yeah, it's impossible to hear the person behind the counter. Yet somehow, from inside a building with a large glass window, granted, from inside the building, I'm sitting there at a table, looking out the window and seeing this dude trying to put on chains. He's trying to put chains on his tires so he can go up the hill. And I see he's struggling because he's trying to put it on, he's trying to back over, but the chains just aren't latching. And I don't know if he's doing it wrong or if the chains are just outdated. And my mom comes back, is about to comment about us getting some chains when we hear from like inside the building, "You fucking son of a dummy fucker!" Just this, something like that. It's just this chain of profanity. And just potty mouthing as his chains won't latch. I am trying not to laugh. I know he couldn't hear me, but I heard him, so I don't want to risk it. So I'm just pretending to blow on my coffee just to cool it down. Oh my god. Spoiler alert, the snowplow went by and we got up the hill, no problem. But, that dude sure wasn't having a good day. Alright, now for Phoebe. I'm not sure if I want to have to wear, I'm not sure if I want to change her character to have her be more like a tough gal. Or just like the loud, outspoken cheerleader friend. Because, when you're in a group of friends and someone doesn't want to do something and everyone else would think it's cool, there's always the first person to start the chant. Now, originally, on her old ref, which I don't have on the computer, but I do have on paper, I'll only get to it. Yeah, Phoebe was the rock star slash in my notes I called her Shaniqua in every way, so I'm gonna have to re-Google what the hell that means. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna Google what that means. Meaning of the name Shaniqua, Japanese origin, woman who is a victor. Okay. What is the Urban Dictionary? Okay, Shaniqua, Japanese origin. She is fierce and protects her inner circle. She can go from calm to classy to rough to ratchet in seconds. She's big on loyalty. Once you're disloyal, she will never give you her energy again. Okay, a boss ass bitch. They're like, oh, you did not to say that to my girls. Because mostly when you Google Shaniqua, even though it's a Japanese name, I see a bunch of African American ladies, all gorgeous, by the way. Holy shit! Nah, they usually tell me I look like Shalissa. You know, I didn't realize this was her character when I first wrote her. When I first wrote her when I was like, what, 13 or something. She is exactly the spitting, not quite the spitting image, but what's her name? I hate to say this, the black girl and the cool kids in Steven Universe. What's her name? I know her sister is Kiki because they made a Ghibli Studio reference, and that was pretty cute. Even though I've never seen Kiki's Delivery Service. Which I probably should, because, I mean, it's Ghibli, and I can't claim to be a Ghibli fan without watching half the classics. Like, I've only seen 3 or 4... Okay, I've sort of seen 4 Ghibli films. I have watched in completion 3. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched 3. Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, and Ponyo. Those are the 3 full Ghibli films I've seen. I've seen part of Castle in the Sky, and I watched a cinema therapy video on Grave of the Fireflies, which, even after watching that, I didn't even watch the film. I just watched their their video on it, and oh my god, I don't think I could watch that film. Is she buff in the original? I got like 3 desks. Some people go for a triple monitor. I went for a triple desk setup. Just so I can have out all my papers. And... like... bright colored makeup. Headbands and bandanas all the time. Hides a knife in her bra. I feel, yeah, she would. She'd be like, she keeps her knife holster like right here. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with the knives thing, because a little bit of trivia for the story Dreamwalkers. They started out as cats. So in order to replace them having claws, I said, well, everyone has a knife. For the tribe, it would be a ceremonial knife that each would carry, and for the stray cats, it would be a switchblade or a pocket knife. So when I made them human, I made the executive decision to make them human. Because I remember where I was too. I was sitting in the back of a van. My van. Not my van. I was sitting in the back of the van, the family van, in the parking lot of a foster kids therapy office building, whatever. It was right outside no, that would be a spoiler. Anyway, I was sitting in the van waiting for the foster kids to get done with therapy. And I'm just writing notes and whatnot, just rethinking the story. And I made a sketch of... I can't remember who I did the sketch of first. But I think it was... like, for fun, I did a sketch of the main character, Hurricane, in her original cat form. And then I made a sketch of her as a human, just for fun, because I saw people drawing their warrior cats, OCs, as humans. And I looked at it, and I thought, I really like that. Oh, crap. And then I just started thinking, well, how would it work as humans? And then, actually, I came up with the idea for them to be humans at a different juncture. I was sitting in the back of the van writing out the world building because I actually fully decided, yes, they are going to be human now. So then I started working on the world building and how the tribe was set up and how they did things differently, how it wasn't going to be a Warriors ripoff anymore, and things escalated from there. She's there. And in her ref, I have her wearing a crop top. And yeah. Because she's a bad bitch. And I'm wondering if she should be muscular or at least toned. Like, because if she's toned, she'll look something like that. I figure out her body later. Let's do the face. It's funny with this character. She wasn't actually even a part of the series when they were cats. I came up with her when when I turned them human. Because I figured we would spend more time in the city. We would spend some time in the city, more than I originally thought, and that we would actually interact with some of Blake's friends. And I was like, well, he needs more than he needs friends. So Phoebe was an original, completely original, made to be part of Blake's friend group. Alex, this teddy bear of a Latino, he was repurposed from a different character, a big cat named Hubcap. And I just kind of drew him as a human. It's like, he'd be a big dude, but he'd be a sweetheart, heart of, not a dumb jock, heart of gold. I have plenty of those, but he's like just a big guy, but wouldn't hurt a fly. He loves kittens and whatnot. And then Andrew over here. I had the idea of having a city cat that was albino. Because I think that would be cool. Because I already had I had a different character with heterochromia, and haven't shown them on stream, but they are on my toy house. So if you want to go find the character I have for this story with heterochromia, go to the Skeomorph Designs. Actually, it should be like that. Skeomorph Designs Toy House. Look under Hydra Butterfly. I have it all sorted. Skeomorph Studios and Dreamwalkers. I don't know if it'll actually be feasible, but I do want to, right there, use Toy House as part of my business, especially since my business is stories and characters, and Toy House is used to share your characters. So I thought if I like create profiles for them, and then maybe later, much in the future, if Toy House is even still around, upgrade to a like a business profile. I don't know if Toy House does that. Is that a? Does she have a? I haven't actually. I didn't draw her face in this piece because I drew a few faces, but then I thought, man, that doesn't look like a teenager. That looks like someone's grandma. I didn't know she had a broader face structure. I kind of want to give her a nose ring now. I'll just do this because I don't do it on any of my other characters. Yeah. Phoebe, she wasn't created to be like the girl of the group, but she was created to be the in a boys club, but the only one with balls type. She's actually based on a friend of mine who was in junior high. She was, I mean, if you know the stereotype for Latina women, that was my friend. She was the stereotype for Latinas, excuse me. What's going on? Step up, hussy. Hey, come on, stupid. So I got bigger balls than you, and she was like 4 foot nothing. 4 foot nothing, had the loudest personality you could ever find in a tiny little package. She's really cute. I think she did. Yeah, I know she did volleyball, and I think she also did track. Very athletic, very cute. And I don't mind saying this because at the time we were children. But if I said it about, a 13-year-old now, arrest me. But I remember she wasn't bullied, but she was kind of harassed by the other dudes because they would look at her and say, "There's no way those are real." Because she had, I hate to say it, she was famous for her voluptuous chest. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for that later, but I felt sorry for her because everyone was saying, "Oh, those breasts are fake. They're fake because they stick out straight. They're fake." And I'm sitting there like, man, y'all, what the fuck do you know? And she's like, "I've never had surgery for my boobs. I clearly don't need it. And, you can't have cosmetic surgery if you're under 18. I think is the law." Anyway. So yeah, I kind of wrote Phoebe to be the loud and proud girl with the bigger pair of balls than all the guys. You can tell in everything I write and create that Aliens, the movie, is my favorite. Aliens is my favorite movie ever. I feel like her mouth should be like. Well, if I was drawing it cartoonishly, I'd do that, but. Let's try something else. Despite Hudson from Aliens being my favorite character, I've recreated Vasquez at least 3 times. Granted, I was writing these stories. I was started writing these stories at different times, and I had the one idea and didn't think I was gonna use it for anything else. So I have an idea for this thing, but I don't think I'm actually gonna do it. So I'll put it here because here's like the opportunity to do it. But then I accidentally did it again. It's like, we know the boss ass bitch archetype, and you'll see it again. Because now, years later, I have returned like a phoenix rising from the ashes with the knowledge of actually how to draw African American people. Did you hear the way I said American? I said American. Did you hear that? Because if you look at my old art, it's just, oh, honey, that's not how you draw. That's not how you draw African Americans. Oh well. With that type of setup. Okay, that's fine. Wait, did I draw it like that? Yeah, I did. I also drew all their shoes just cartoonishly big. I mean, I still do that for other characters, but for this one, I kind of want them to be more, not fully realistic because look at the way I'm drawing their eyes and look at the way I'm coloring their eyes and faces. That is not realistic at all. But I do want them to be more realistic in their proportions than any of my other properties. You gotta really get used to this streaming, this streaming thing that all the kids are doing. Because yesterday, man, I tell you what, I was not in the mood for streaming nothing. I don't even know what happened. I just wasn't in the mood to work on my Warriors comic. Probably because I had binge worked on it all weekend in the 2 days prior. So asking myself to work on it again for a stream was a bit much. And I could have worked on something else, but I really didn't want to. I just didn't want to stream because streaming, despite doing the things I would normally do without, regardless, streaming takes a lot of energy out of me. Probably because I'm an introvert. But, oh, she's definitely going to have studs or something. So where do you put the. Here. There you go. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to have to add another layer. Lower the opacity for that. Just so I can figure out her hands and her hair situation. Did I give her No, I didn't. But I could give her bracelets and whatnot. She definitely has manicured nails. That's for sure. Hmm. This is how I normally draw hands. So drawing them any different looks weird. Especially since this looks like old lady fingers. I think it's because of how big they are. Despite being cartoonish. If I had to make the choice, like, if I could, Dreamwalkers would be a miniseries, like an animated miniseries that would like air on television and whatnot. However, I do not have the means, and I think as a graphic novel, I can have more fun with the story. There we go. Hmm. Claw hands. I'm sorry for not talking. I don't know how to draw hands very well. So not only is this Blake's group of friends, like his group of friends, but they're also the recruits, or the I'm gonna think of a better word for recruits, but they're the because originally I had newbies, which I'm not sure about that word either. I'm gonna come up with a word for the not quite full members because they haven't proved to themselves yet. Like they haven't proved themselves trustworthy. What's up, puppy? Do you need to go potty? What's up? Are you just looking for scraps? Or do you actually need to go potty? Okay, I'm gonna go deal with my dog real quick. Save and BRB. Do you need to go potty? What? Oh, you're just begging. Turd. Alright. False alarm. He was just begging. No. I don't want to talk about it. One of these days I'm going to learn how to draw hands. That's why I mostly draw my characters like this. Or in the tried and true pose. Because hands, fingers, it's no bueno. The amount of times I slip into Spanish, despite not having a drop of Mexican blood in me. Let's draw these pants and then we'll call it. Not call it quits, but just call this area done. I don't want to deal with it. There we go. We'll just go with that. Oh, I also needed a. Alright, in her original design, she had a headband like this, and hair like this, and this. Which is definitely white girl hair. Unless we're assuming she straightens her hair. Which I'm not sure I want to gamble with that. Hmm. I'll come back to it later. I don't know why, but my energy just suddenly dipped. But it might just be me losing motivation. Because I really did not have a restful sleep last night. I don't want to talk about it. Alright. Oh my god, I hate hitting that stupid button. Okay. As long as I maintain this height with his head, I think we'll be okay. Alright, let me switch back to his paper. Okay, Alex Juarez. A very sporty guy. Plays football. I didn't even draw a lot yesterday, but my arm feels like I have. Why's his head tilted like that? I don't want to draw him in the same pose as that other dude, but they are not the same. I'm purposefully being vague because I don't have the energy to explain, but also it's a spoiler. Despite it being on Toy House. But let's be honest, who follows me on Toy House? Literally no one. The few people that do, it's just like, I don't know. They don't interact. The thing with Toy House, it is not a social media website at all, really. It's just like a catalog archive area just for you to browse. I mean, there are forums and whatnot, but I don't use them. No, he's the worrywart of the group. Is he the Thompson of the group? From Gravity Falls? I don't think so. But he's definitely the no thanks, I choose life. No thanks, I choose life. I still think that's too short. It might be because I've drawn his legs super built. Well, then again. Are his feet too big? Well, they are tilted, but are they too big? I don't know. I got small feet. Well, actually, I don't have small feet. I have flat feet. If you want to know anything about me. Flat feet, and I walked on my toes for most of my life, which is probably why I had knee troubles. Or at least, and I sit with my feet crossed. I'm doing it right now, and I know I'm not supposed to because it's bad for my knees. And before any of y'all make comments, probably not, but whatever, I designed him and conceptualized him before Voltron Legendary Defender came out. So if he's giving you hunk vibes, it's purely incidental. But because I changed the story in a very specific way, which is spoilers, there are some scenes that might actually have to get cut, despite how much fun I had with them, or at least rewrite them. No, I changed it back, so I still could, but it wouldn't make any sense. And I also changed the lore on how. I changed the lore on how shadows work in this world, if you remember from the. Well, not the last stream. Definitely not the last stream, but. When I was doing a creature design stream with the Inner Demons video, they used to be literal demons that escaped from hell, but then I was like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's make it more symbolic. So the interaction with the tribe and the city is now different. Because in the original story, I can say it like this because it's changed now. It's no longer canon, so it's not a spoiler. He's got feminine hips. The high-waisted man's got feminine hips. No, anyway, In the original story, excuse me. Oh, pardon. The city folk or the city folk were having nightmares and were being plagued by strange creatures that would torment them, and they'd wake up. They would torment them in their dreams, and then they would wake up with scratches on them. And it got so bad where a few people actually got hospitalized. So the leader reached out to the tribe and said, "Hey, you've mentioned spirits before, so what's the deal?" And then the tribe's like, "Oh, you've been infected with bad spirits. You need to come to our holy place to be cleansed." And then that's how the main interaction slash friendship between the city and the tribe started in the original draft. It is no longer like that at all. The tribe and the city and the stray cats, because originally I just called them the city folk. The stray cats are friends. I know, have good relations because David and Setsume are good friends, and that's at the beginning of the story, so that's not a spoiler. They're really good friends, and then they have good relations there. I'm not sure what all that means for both parties, but I do know one aspect of the story is definitely mutually beneficial for the tribe. I'm not sure how beneficial it is for the stray cats, or if David just did this as a favor to a friend. But I am not sure. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Because I'm working on the city aspect of the story. And I realized I had no material prepared. So I'm kind of grasping at straws. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to tell a full story with the city, like in the same book, or do I like make that its own story that I can deal with later with different characters? I do that, or just tell a simple story. Just like have this just be a setting. For the Cat Scratch gang, because I have made them a gang. So that means gangs get into fights with other gangs and cops, and they do things, but I'm not sure what kind of gang the stray cats are. I have a thinking right now that they're called the stray cats, not just because they have a habit of, air quote, taking in strays, but because of another spoiler reason. But I'm not sure if the stray cats are kind of like a sabotage gang, where like they just sabotage the other gangs, and they blackmail government officials because they're like, "Hey, we got dirt on you for this, so get the drugs out of my city." This ear and nose are both wrong. Because I do want the stray cats to be written and perceived as like as the good guys, but just had to resort to less than ideal means because of the city of corruption in the government offices, so they kind of had to resort to some vigilante work. But I'm not sure what that would mean for the main story. For them by themselves, that would be fun to write about, but for the Dreamwalker story that I have planned, that kind of has no place, or at least has a would be a footnote, just to show like, oh, we want the same things type deal. Because the point, no, that's a spoiler. I can't talk about that. That's the problem with live streaming this story. I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's a spoiler. Especially with Gatesville. Oh my god, back when I was working on Gatesville stuff, I think some of the streams are still on this channel. It was torture trying to talk about things and not spoil it. Pen's doing the thing again. I like XP. I really do. I like how it feels, how it functions, and how cheap it is. But at the same time, my pen does this weird thing where I have a button that switches between, that is an airdrop, that is a right click. And I also have a tool that switches from pen to eraser, which just makes it very convenient. But it's right where my thumb is, so sometimes I hit the switch tool button and it's inconvenient. But also I also didn't have this button for the longest time, so I would manually switch the brushes like between pen and eraser, but my pen was still on a certain function, so it would kind of glitch. It just kind of glitches a little bit. I'm just, what the oh, right. And then I have to manually go in and kind of reset it. So that's annoying. But other than that, I do like XP. XP pen drawing tablets. A lot cheaper than Huion. But also, Huion is really good customer service wise and just product wise, because you can get stuff that are like a Cintiq but much cheaper for about the same amount of quality. Let's save before I lose my mind. Should have Andrew facing the same way as Alex to show that they're polar opposites. I mean, I could. Hold up. I currently have them lined up by age. But because I try to do that with all my references. But I did a reference for another faction in this story, and I'm just, oh no, they're not in any order whatsoever. Because I was just moving characters around trying to figure out what the hell, they stood in for and what even they were. I was coming up with characters on the fly, which took a lot of just sketching, erasing, moving around, BS-ery. So that's why I didn't bother streaming it. And it's a spoiler. Actually, yeah, that's the one thing about the story that is a major spoiler, is that group. Even though they're up on Toy House, you can see their references. But I really want to write a lot about their characters because it's not gonna be fun. actually, who am I kidding? Writing them is not going to be fun. It's not going to be pretty. And I want it to be a spoiler. And that is all I can say. That is all I will say. Now, the city, even though it's later in the story, much later in the story, it's not as much of a spoiler. Because I can talk about these characters more, but for the other characters that will go unmentioned, I can just say that they exist and are in the story, but other than that, I'm going to try and not talk about them at all. And I actually may have to rethink one of those characters because that's a hurtful stereotype. Anyway, back to these guys. I know. Let's not give him a red hoodie like every other Latino kid in animation. He's got a red hoodie or something. Or a blue hoodie if you're Carlos. For him, in his original sketch, I have him in a green shirt. That's just because I really liked that green. I think that's his hair. Alright, let's do Andrew, who's actually going to be more fun to write, honestly. He's going to be so... I love Andrew. I'm going to tell you guys all about Andrew. Andrew is he's albino, and he's adopted into a rich family. The McIntyres. Andrew McIntyre. And I'm not sure if his family is, like, huge... if they're financial supporters of the gang, or if they don't even... if they think, oh, that's gang, and they're always nefarious and up to no good, and Andrew's like, secretly one of them. I don't know if I want to do that. You know, which way I want to do it. Because then, if his family are either financial supporters of the gang, then Andrew's... then... well, they actually coddle Andrew, so they wouldn't want him to be involved. But at the same time, he probably is one of the smarter kids in the group. Not smarter as in, like, book smart. Because for that would be Alex. I mean, he's in the football team. He does track and field. I think he also does basketball. He might also do a bit of hockey, depending on what I decide about the story. But, you know, about the school district. So he has to get good grades to stay in all those sports. So he's actually the smartest academically. Andrew is just the smartest. He's got street smarts. He's got savoir-faire. And I can tell. I'm going to love writing him, and I hope people like him too. Because I'm not sure what time period I've set this in, but he has a phone camera. I don't know if it's like a flip phone, or because I originally had it as a flip phone or like a screen phone for a gag and for a different character, but the gag's no longer in there, and I'm really sad. I am mourning the loss of that joke because it was so dumb, but it was so funny to me. Where in the original story, when the city people were getting attacked by creatures in their dreams and waking up with scars, David took pictures of the scars to like show to Setsume and the cop and like the doctors later. And he had his phone brightness on too high, so when he first turned it on at night, it blinded him. And he said, "Oh, damn!" And it turns his brightness down and hands the phone over to Setsume, who holds it like an old man. So that was the gag that sadly since I've changed the story, it's no longer gonna be in there the way it was. But I think I can still fit it in somewhere. Like the whole time they're in the city, somehow David's phone brightness is always at maximum when it's nighttime. So anytime he opens his phone at night, it's just blah. The beacon is lit. Gondor calls for aid type deal. About Andrew, he was adopted by a rich family, like I said, the McIntyres. And while the perks of being from a rich family are great, he has good clothes and good medicine because being albino means he has a weaker immune system, so he is sick a bit more than the other kids. He just hates being coddled. And some of it he feels like after researching or talking to Alex about something, he starts to realize, well, what if my half the illnesses my parents say I have are actually because they have the what's that? It has a name. I'm totally blanking on it. When the parent keeps insisting there's something wrong for their with their child as a way of trying to gain attention or feel some sort of entitlement or to like gain sympathy. It has a word besides being a fucking bad parent. It has like a scientific word, and I don't remember what it is. Anyway, they're like, he's kind of like, am I actually sick all the time, or if they're trying to convince me that I'm sick all the time? Like, is this normal? But also, he's the most chill of the group. I realized, I just realized, Phoebe is that one girl from Steven Universe. Andrew is basically sour cream, and Buck is either Alex or Drake, or Blake in this group. I accidentally recreated the cool kids, even though I drew these designs before the show aired. Wait, when did I draw these designs? Did I date the original designs? Did I put a date on this? Or not, because I'm an idiot. No, I didn't put a date on it. Damn! I'm an idiot. Oh, wait. I have Andrew being taller than Alex here. Changing that. Okay, yeah, it's in frame the whole time. I was concerned. I was like, wait a minute. If I click back and he's not in frame, I'm gonna die. So yeah, I'm not sure where I want this. Okay. I know where I want the story to go. I just don't know how many beats it's gonna hit before we get to a certain point. Because the story is all about facing your, not just your fears, but it's about the journey to mental, it's about a mental health journey. This despite having like magical and fantastical elements in it and about a tribe living in the forest in their ancestral homelands and whatnot. It's a story about, it's a mental health journey. So I'm wondering, I want this, each arc of the story to serve a purpose for the mental health journey, but I'm also wondering what, like, how to represent that, the certain part of the journey with the city setting. So I'm not sure. I also, because I don't want to write like I originally did. I don't want to write the tribe as being wholly right. I do want them, like, to write them in as having their issues, but also I don't want to shy away from the issues of the city, which is what I'm doing with Andrew. Like, these three are fine with their life, like, in the city. Andrew, he's sick all the time. And he, wonders if he actually is just sickly or if it's just the city air. I just realized that might be a spoiler. Now, redacted. I retract my statement. He is sickly and he hates being coddled. But he does feel like half the doctors that he deals with they're just pulling shit out of their ass. I mean, where else would you pull it out of? Which is such an interesting. It's like, oh, you pulled that shit out of your ass. Well, where else would I pull it out of? I'm not sure what his tone of voice is. I do know he's very nonchalant. I mean, this is a semi-spoiler, but this just shows Andrew's character, where a character is bleeding. Is like, how would someone call a doctor? I'm bleeding all over my dad's carpet, and I don't want to get in trouble. Then Andrew's just, I'll get the bleach. Like, oh yeah, never mind that your friend is literally bleeding out. No, I'll get the bleach to help you clean that up. Okay, so that's his. He looks just like sour. He doesn't quite look like sour cream from Steven Universe, but he comes close. That's the wrong face. What the hell? ATT? I'm sorry, valid number or not. If I don't recognize your number, I ain't answering. My mom sent me a video. I'll look at it later. My God, there's so many notifications on my phone. Oh, she's at Buc-ee's. I'll look at it in a second. My mom's in Texas for some work stuff, but while you're in Texas, you have to visit Buc-ee's. It's just kind of a unwritten law. If you're in Texas, you have to visit a Buc-ee's. And I've been to a Buc-ee's once, and I got a large mug from Buc-ee's because it was one of the few things I could afford. And it's so freaking big, and it could hold like all of the cold drink I would need just to survive in Texas for like an hour. Because we were also on a road trip when I was down there. We went on a road trip to SeaWorld. And I was there, and I could write a whole hour-long essay about SeaWorld, but on the way back we went to Buc-ee's, so. And I did enjoy, I mean, I sort of enjoyed SeaWorld. I enjoyed seeing the animals, but at the same time, I'm like, I know they're not living their best life, or at least the life that they could be living. Here's the thing with Andrew. Since he's albino, all his hair is going to be white. He doesn't have any pigment. So does that mean I draw his lashes like this? Same with his eyebrows. Not that. He's more sly. And that's still the wrong expression. It's the wrong expression as well. Well, anyway, since he's albino, do I draw his eyebrows? I mean, his eyelashes, like, because usually I draw eyelashes like this, just a big black line. But since he's albino, how do I do this? Do I just not? What do I do, chat? Slink down the alley, looking for a fight. Howling to the moonlight, a hot summer night. Singing the blues while the lady cats cry. Wild stray cat, you're a real gone guy. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cat class and I got cat style. Since I was writing some lore and stuff for the Stray Cat gang, I was listening to that song, which is their namesake, and I have it stuck in my head. And I can't play it on stream because I'll get copyright. But if you want to do yourself a favor, there's this band called the Stray Cats. They're an '80s rock band, but they sound like they're from the like the '50s swing, not swing, but like sock hop era, which I guess would be '50s still. And they have that sound, and it's really good. And their most famous song is called Cat Strut. And whoosh! What I sang was just the chorus, and it's a banger. I was talking about his flip phone situation. Okay. I'm not sure if I want this era to be the world of flip phones or smartphones. But either way, he has a camera phone. And anytime his friend or someone does anything foolish, ridiculous, or just they see anything wild, he just lightning speed just on his phone, and they're like, "What was that?" And he says, "Insurance." Okay, he's got thin lips. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for singing their song. And why did I say it looks so feminine? Now, should I draw him with his sunglasses on? Or should I draw him without? Because he just has... Does he have readers? Or... In the one piece of art I have of him, I didn't draw him with his glasses on, but if he's going to be out in the sun, he definitely has some medical sunglasses. And he does have... I think he has some readers. Which will be funny when they hand him something and he just literally, he goes full old man, even though he's the youngest of the group. He'll put the glasses on his nose, like, hang on, on the tip of his nose and do that thing that parents do when you hand them your phone. I mean, y'all can't see what I'm doing, but you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying. You hand your mom your phone with a meme on the screen. You know the exact face she's gonna make, unless your mom is under 30. And then, how old are you? What are you doing on the internet? If your mom is under 30, that means you are like 12 years old. That is not old enough for the internet yet. Begone, infant. Everything on the internet is 13 and up. Anyone who tells you different is just lazy parenting. Anyway, so. Now, with that insurance gag, I want to know if that's what the gang, the Stray Cats, actually does. Like, if their business is blackmail instead of like money laundering or, you know, robbery, drugs, and prostitution. I don't think David would be cool. David would not be cool with that. That's what he wants to get rid of because he loves his city and he loves kids. He loves his city and he loves his children more. So, and he hates to see homeless people just ignored, abandoned, and mistreated, especially if they're children or veterans or elderly. Then he's just, you know what, we need to clean this up. So he made a group. It was really just him and a bunch of friends, and then as they got bigger, then they got more of an identity for themselves. And then other games called them the Strays. And David just rolled with it and called them the Stray Cats. Yeah. Meow. Yeah, don't cross my path. So I'm wondering if it's now, like, their calling card. Like, anytime there is a drug bust on a gang, or, like, they sabotage other gangs that are doing the drugging, the laundering, and the doing the drugs and whatnot, they leave their calling card, which is like, originally they were called the Cat Strut gang, like the. Anyway, so I'm wondering if they leave a calling card or if they're like deep shadows conditions, or like you can't prove it was them. Like, but they are a gang, and the other gangs make fun of them. You ain't even a real gang. You don't do any of this. You don't do any of that. In preparation for this, I should probably do some research about actual gangsters. Like, you know, everyone's favorite gangster, Al Capone. I won't say his nickname because he didn't like it. He did not like the nickname he got. He preferred to be called Big Snorky. If you weren't going to call him by Al or Mr. Capone. Big Snorky. Which I think is just so fantastic. Should I have him holding his phone up? He's got his phone. And there's his thumb on the button. So this is what I gotta decide. Is it a flip phone? You better watch out. Andrew's got his phone out. That is not how you draw. Should I have him with his phone out? Click. Gotcha. He'll joke around and say, like, if someone says something unbelievable, he'll just turn and he's like, can you say that again for the camera? And I'm like, oh, stop it. Too late. He was already recording the whole time. You know, I'm trying to bring his ref over here because his hair is very particular. Had a very particular look for it. Because in his original design, he was going to be a long-haired white cat that was albino, and he was famous for his long, sharp claws. I actually don't remember any other of the Stray Cat songs. I mean, I remember Stray Cat Strut. Everyone knows that one. But I also remember one called Sexy and 17. Which, now that sounds bad, but the song was about the bandmates cutting class. It was about them cutting class to go meet the girls by the railroad tracks. And he was talking about his girlfriend, Maureen. Yeah, it's not an adult man singing about this. I think this band actually started out as teens that just made it big at bars and whatnot, but I don't know. I do like that song though. You're sexy and 17, my little rock and roll queen. Acts a little bit obscene. Gotta let off a little steam. Did that sound and shake it around. Go my. And if you really liked the bass guitar or like the rock and blues swing sound, you will love the Stray Cats. I think that's close enough. I mean, I had his hair like doing this, but that's fine in cartoons, but I don't want. I wonder, do albinos have soft white hair? Or is it kind of wiry due to their low melanin and whatnot? I'm going to have to research that. And of course, I'm doing the cartoon hair thing where if a character's hair is like this and they turn their head, it's going to be the same on that side because fuck this. Sexy and 17. My little rock and roll queen. Acts a little bit obscene. Got let off little steam. Dip that sound and shake it around. Go my. Okay. I used to listen to those guys when I was in high school. I listened to a lot of different music when I was in high school. Let's be honest. I still, you know what? I love. The song High School Never Ends by Bowling for Soup is right. I still don't have the right look, and I still have the same 3 friends, and you pretty much listen to the same shit you did back then. High School Never Ends. I love that song. I think, also, if I'm gonna be honest, my favorite Bowling for Soup song is Normal Chicks. I love that song. I like you in sweatpants, no makeup. I even like your messed up hair. You're just perfect right when you wake up. You're so pretty when you don't care. And there's just gotta be a heaven above, 'cause there's an angel on earth right here. There's nothing you need to fix. I like normal chicks. Should I fix up this line art or just color over it? You know what? Screw it. You know what? Okay, this isn't a spoiler or anything because it happens pre-book. I need to figure out. I kind of figured out it's this story takes place. It's not a real place on Earth, so I don't have to like choose what city it actually is, but I'm not sure if I want it to be like a Seattle type city or something more like it's us or like a what's another or like Spokane type city because there's a lot of corruption in both cities. Well, hell, there's corruption in every city. It's definitely not a, at least I haven't imagined it being like a New York city. Not like a metropolis or something like that, but no tiny town either. Or maybe it is, and the Shia tribe just call it a city, and they're like, oh yeah, city. Yeah, sure. But anyway, I kind of want to decide. I need to decide what type of city this is, and where, like, what forest and wildlife should I base it on? Because originally they were in like the Appalachian Mountains, but then I actually looked at pictures of the Appalachian Mountains later and went, "Oh, those ain't snow-capped mountains. Those ain't the Rockies, honey." So I changed it. They kind of look like the mountains that they're in looks like the Rockies or something like that. Oh, that's what I did for Dave. Okay, that I'll fix it. The deepest part of the lip and the cupid's bow. There we go. Now, for girls, you have more definition on the lips. Unless, because I've seen some guys with the most voluptuous lips and luscious lashes you've ever seen. And I would say I'm jealous of those guys, but at the same time, I'm in the same boat. But, I like guys, so I would look at them and go, God, they're so pretty. I wish I was like that. It's like, you're just, girl. It's so weird the way envy works. I'm saying envy because jealousy is not the right word for this situation. The envy is I wish I had what they had. Jealousy is I wanted that one thing, and if I can't have it, no one can type deal. For envy, it's just I wish I had something like that. For envy, I would look at grown women and go, man, I wish I had a figure like that. I'm still not skinny. I do not have the good figure. Not good figure. That's not the right word. I ain't no prom queen, which I love that song. I'm not cut out for prom queen, but you get me in the right dress with the, right proportions tailored to my body, I'll rock anything you put on. I'll rock it. But the thing is, I was trying to wear clothes that weren't right for me. And out of shame, I would just wear baggy clothes to just hide my figure. A weird thing, envy. Especially when you're like, oh, I wish I had something like that. And in reality, you're like, reality is like, bitch, you have that. You just don't realize it because you have it. Because of your poor self-image, you don't realize what you actually have. I keep smelling yeast and I'm thinking, who's baking bread? I still have half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich next to me. So that's what I'm smelling. It's like, oh no, does someone have a yeast infection? It's like, no, just a yeast festation, because eat your damn lunch. Now my bread is gone stale. That's good though. Whoever invented peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I would like to shake their hand. Same thing with the dude, because I know it was a dude, I don't remember his name, that invented the kiwi strawberry flavor. I would like to shake the hand of that man. Because that's good stuff. It's 11. It's 2 o'clock and I still... That's the thing with streaming. I don't get a lot of work done when I'm streaming. I think this is true for most streamers, like art streamers. You work slower when you're streaming. Because you think, oh, if I stream, it'll help me get the work done, because then I'll have to focus on it. But because you're focusing on it, at least for me, and not taking frequent breaks and just shutting my brain off and listening to a story or a narration of a... I'm grossly addicted to creepypastas, so don't at me. but I get a lot of work done when I'm doing that, or just listening to music, for crying out loud. And unfortunately, the music I like would get me a huge copyright strike because I like Metallica. But I just remembered, like as of last night, I remembered that YouTube has a library. You know, YouTube has a music library in the studio tab, and it's all copyright free music. Well, not all of it, but you can put the tab on to where it's all music from YouTube's library. And you can just have that, you can play that music. Or since it automatically plays the next song, you can like go to the YouTube library, type in your tracks or your genre, your mood, or like the duration of certain songs, and if they need proper credit in the video, you can just like hit play on that and just have that playing in the background, and it's copyright free music with no ads. And if YouTube tries to strike you, like, hey, this is from your library, shut up, they won't do anything. And it's better than listening to lo-fi beats, because I'm sorry to those who like lo-fi beats. I can't deal with lo-fi. Sorry. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta write his name. His name's Blake. Are you out of your goddamn mind, Blake? I got my eye on you, Blake. I named him Blake for the simple reason that in his cat form was named Blade. So I thought that was like, because David, or who was named Buick at the time, because he's a city cat, get it? He had two sons named Sniper and Blade. Because, you know, they're like not warrior names. Yeah, got some. I like cracked wheat bread, but my goodness. You need to wash that out with some water, some milk. I watched a documentary today about butterflies. And oh my god, I know nothing about butterflies. I thought I knew about butterflies and whatnot. I don't know shit. You want to know why butterflies are called butterflies? It's because originally in like the Middle Ages or the medieval era, they would leave out the cream at night to set up. So like the buttermilk, they would leave it out at night to cool and to set for the morning. And while it was set out, moths and stuff would come in through the window and drink the butter off the top. So that's why they were called butterflies, because they were seen as evil, bringers of evil, and witches in disguise that would come to steal your soul if they landed on you. Because here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Like, if you're sick in the medieval era, Godspeed, because you ain't getting out alive. Because they believed that moths, if they landed on you, like to drink the sweat off your body and whatnot, because they like the salt, that meant a witch in disguise came to steal your soul and take your soul out into the night, so you wouldn't go to heaven. Just, what? Like, moths aren't even that. They don't carry diseases, so there's no reason for them to believe that moths would kill people, especially in Europe and whatnot. It's just because, in their thinking, night creature meant evil or of the devil, and that the day butterflies got the more positive connotation because they were out during the daytime. It had nothing to do with what the butterflies were actually doing, and that's why they're called butterflies, because they would drink the buttermilk. But now we call them, those creatures, moths, and but the day flyers, the butterflies, just kind of got stuck with the name. So yeah, that's why they're called butterflies. It's because they used to drink buttermilk in people's homes because people would leave it out at night. It's amazing anyone survived the Dark Ages at all. Hang on, I need to check this old ref. Okay. Mm. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sorry. Anytime I do, it either reminds me of that stupid cover of the Full Metal Jacket scene where they're like, "You gotta walk," where it's the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and and I almost called him Scooby. I'm sorry, and Goofy doing the voices. Sir, what are you doing, sir? Life. I can't do Daffy. Wow, I can't do Donald. I'm sorry to anyone who's like, I'm sorry to any Donald fans, me included. I can't do Donald. Props to anyone who can do a Donald voice. I am not one of those people. Let me see your war face. Bullshit, you're not stupid. Let me see your war face. That whole scene. I haven't seen that full movie. I haven't seen that movie yet. I say yet because it's on my watch list. I need to watch it for research purposes. Is that still good? Because this is his dad, who's he's basically a normal human, and this is Iris, his sister, and she has gray hair, naturally gray hair, because her ancestors came over from the shoreliners that were over the mountains, and when they came over and founded the Shia tribe, there was another group of people that also kind of split off from that group and settled in the valley, and they were later kind of integrated into the air quote city folk. So that's why some air quote city folk have naturally gray hair and more vibrant eyes. Sometimes. Now, David is an out of towner who moved to the city and married Iris and Blake's mom. I don't have a name for her, and I think I want to keep it that way to make it kind of a hush hush topic, but then like reveal it later to show that, oh, like we're actually going to talk about her now. But due to whoops, oh, fucked up there, didn't I? Not the best at Mickey Mouse, but in my head I sound like a really good Mickey Mouse, but like I know like out in the air it sounds different, and through the microphone it sounds different because that's how hearing works. Okay. I like this. I like this. And that's basically how he was. Here's the, not the cinch. But based on how I kind of drew their eyes, not really though, but drew Iris and Blake's eyes definitely in this shot. I don't know if their mother has Asian descent, because in this city there seems to be a larger population of Asians, kind of like in Seattle or in Canada. So I'm wondering if I'm loosely basing it on that kind of area. And why is it so hot in here? Oh my god, it's never been this hot before. I've got thermal curtains on and everything. I need to take this off. Holy crap. Oh, hang on. My sleeves are stuck. It's probably only like 70 degrees in the house right now, but it just feels hot because, well, first day of spring was this week? Was it Monday? Was Monday the first day of spring? When was Groundhog Day? February 2nd. Oh. Never mind. I'll look at that later. Anyway. I mean, it's in my head now, but I'm not going to design her. But she also had naturally gray hair, or at least bits of gray in her hair. Just to explain, like, their split. And I'm not sure, because the story has changed a bit, I'm not sure if Blake and Iris are David's only children, or if there is a third eldest child. Or if I'm going to change his character to where he's just like another gang member that David works closely with, and Blake feels like he's another brother, or that David wishes that was his son instead of him. He's not some issues. Okay. Gray, black with the red thing. Okay. I mean, originally Blake had a black t-shirt with a red kind of lightning bolt in the middle to kind of be like a joke about him listening to AC/DC, like being an AC/DC fan. But I mean, I might keep it because it's cute. But he also had a blue-gray hoodie, a little darker. No, not that dark, and a little bluer. This was his original. I might change it from here. Or if light, it's dark, light, a whitish. So if he does a light, dark, a black, he's like the opposite of his father. See, storytelling. And long sleeves. Because they are not the same person. Yeah, his jeans are tucked in and he wears shoes that actually fit him. His shirt's out, pants don't fit him, and his shoes are cartoonishly big. I accidentally did this, but it makes sense. I'm gonna give him gray jeans. I had a pair of gray jeans when I was in junior high. I really liked wearing them because then you could wear anything with it, but I kind of ruined them. And I grew out of them. I grew out of them and I kind of ruined them because junior high is the worst time to be alive. Honestly. He's got white soles and dark tops. He's gonna have dark soles and lighter tops. There we go. Polar opposite. Alright, now let's check the time on this thing. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. Oh, that's an Academy record. Well, I did a... Whoops! Whoop. Just do the basic. And his hands aren't showing. And then we'll not smudge, we will blur. Just to give him some tint. I'm gonna make him more red. More like, not quite apple cheeked, but, you know, very, very young. And I mean, David looks young as well, despite his graying hair. But I think he's at least in his 30s. That's what I wrote for the for his bio on Toy House. So I don't know. Just why does his skin look gray? No. And he's paler than his dad, and definitely... Why is Iris so pale? Why is she paler than her dad? She lives with a tribe. A part of me wants their mother to be half Asian. To, like, explain... like, why Iris doesn't sweat. Can make that joke. Did I subconscious? No, I didn't plan for that because originally, in one of Iris's human designs, the way I drew her, she honestly kind of looks like Winona Ryder. Which, no hate to Winona Ryder, it's just that's not what I was going for at all. I don't know. Iris's character has gotten not the most revision. I'll have to actually, he looks like a clown. Have to actually double check who got the most revision, like character wise. But okay, that's better. Yeah, I needed to make it more pink. That were issue. All right. I mean, I'm already working, so I don't want to call it here. Now, here's the thing with Phoebe. Her name was going to be Keisha, and I don't know why I didn't go with that. Maybe You're gonna like Keisha from Magic School Bus. Oh bad, oh bad, 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 bad. And I could give her that hair. Hang on, I have something saved on Pinterest that y'all can't see about different hairstyles for black girls, because I actually do want to try and draw from, like, if I'm gonna draw a character of any nationality, I want to actually try to do research, which I think is like the bare minimum of what any writer or designer should do. Like, if you're gonna write about a certain culture, do research about said culture and actually ask people who are a part of said culture, hey, is this true or is this a stereotype? Is this is this actually racist or not? And then, you won't be a complete ass. Ooh, I like that hairstyle though. Okay. It'll be a bitch to draw because I still don't know how to draw curly hair. I'm trying to work on it. My default, if I feel bad because my default African American hairstyle is either do rag or dreads, and that's not. I mean, most people do the braids, and I don't know why the braids are so hard for me to draw. Maybe it's because they're more technical, but like, let's just get the basic shape. Basic shape of her hair. Maybe that'll work. What are you whining about? Oh, you're just laying there. Okay. Or my dog. I talk to my dog more than actual people. Okay. Oh, I actually do like this. Hold up. I love this. Okay, chat. I am not ignoring you if anyone pops in. I am not ignoring you. I really, whoops. Okay, hold on. We're good. We're good. I really need to figure out this hair. And I need to draw a reference from it. Oh, did I fuck it up? Did I fuck it up? I fucked it up. Hold up. Technical difficulties. Hold on. I forgot if I move this, I move that. Alright. No. I didn't save it. Oh, fuck. I'll be right back. Oh, that's close. That's close, but not quite. Hang on, let me find that. Okay. I found the chart for the hair, and then I scroll down, and it was right here. So it should, in theory, still be here in some fashion. I mean, that's similar. No, not quite. Not quite. No. Pinterest, why'd you do me like that? it, I'll just reference her hair or something. That's annoying. Well, I lost the reference picture, so we're just gonna have to improvise. I think what I do, if I can get at least the basic outline to imply the texture of her hair, I think we'll be okay. I don't know why I got the opening theme music to the 1998 Godzilla movie flying through my head. But here we are. I got the intro music and scene from the 1998 Godzilla movie flying through my head. I think if I can, do this, I think we'll be okay. We're all in this together. Parasocial relationships. You know what? I'm tempted to write a parody now of We're All in This Together, but make it about parasocial relationships. I used to have to sing that stupid frickin' song in choir class as just like a warm-up practice. And everyone was just like, yeah, let's sing this song. I love High School Musical. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god. I mean, I don't hate... It's okay. I don't have to tread carefully because it's High School Musical. Everyone knows it's bad. But when I watched the first film, I'm like, okay, I see why people think this movie is the greatest thing since Hotcakes. But at the same time, the singing is like... It's borderline at... I mean, it's passable at best. So what do I think of this hairstyle? I think it needs more bounce. Alright, so let me say that and pull it up a little bit. Free transform. That's better. Here's the thing that might be a little, I don't mind admitting this. The number one driving reason why I wanted to learn how to draw curly and frizzy hairstyles is because of Encanto. Because when that movie first came out, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Camilo is the best character in that movie. No one can convince me otherwise. Camilo needs his own spin-off series. Or like a spin-off short of just him messing around. Because I would watch the hell out of that. Just Camilo being Camilo. Because, oh my god, that boy. That boy. He deserves everything. And he got literally not even 10 minutes of screen time. But every time he was on screen, it was a joy. Yeah, but I felt so bummed because I was like, I'm trying to draw fan art of this dude, or like, or whatever, and other fan characters that look similar, and I'm just, I don't know, I can't draw curly, frizzy hair. So now, I almost said years later. How old is the Encanto movie? It can't be older than a year, kind of. Hold on. I mean, derail everything. How old is Encanto? Encanto. Oh my god! Oh no! It is years later. No, that movie came out in 2021. It's 2023. What happened to time? What happened? No, I can't. No. No. I. I. I'm ending the stream. Alright, yeah, I'm taking. I need. Still got my sandwich here. It's nothing but dry bread and peanut butter. There's no fucking way that movie is that old. There's not much potatoes. What do you mean, no? You know, eat your crumbs. Okay. I'm finishing my sandwich. I'm feeling a little better. But not really. Peanut butter and jelly is just comfort food. That and mac and cheese. Alright. Comfort foods. Discuss. For me, peanut butter and jelly, mac and cheese. Kraft mac and cheese. I mean, it doesn't have to be Kraft. It can just be microwaved macaroni with any cheese. Any cheese. It's a Parmesan, cheddar. You don't want to microwave provolone, and you really don't want to microwave Parmesan, but we did the grated Parmesan, the granulated Parmesan, so it's like in powder. Because we are poor white people. White privilege, my ass. I'm so salty about that. But okay, hot topic, not really a hot topic because this actually is an issue. I understand what people mean when they say white privilege. I understand. However, assuming someone is privileged because they are white is still racism because you're making an assumption about someone based on their skin color. Just because I am of Caucasian descent of the people of Caucasus, which are actually from Turkey, does not mean I had everything handed to me on a silver platter. You know what I did have handed to me? Free lunches and the only thing I've actually had handed to me on a silver platter is nothing because we have a silver platter and we don't use it because we don't have silver polish. And eating off silver is, I mean, it's fine, but it's not great when you don't have silver polish. But anyway, the only reason I didn't get, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons I didn't get a scholarship to go to school is because I was white, I was straight, and I guess they had their quota for females that year. So, like, just a straight white girl. And they're like, oh yeah, we have our quota for those. We got them all from Seattle. It's just, fuck. That, and I wasn't athletic. I'm more academic. Let's try that again. So yeah, because I wanted to scream this. I was at a English 101. Do you know what you're supposed to talk about in English 101 or what you think you would talk about in English 101? Like essays, how to write certain papers and whatnot. You know what we actually talked about in this one English 101 class I had? Racism. And it was literally, I hate to sound like this person, but it was just a bunch of people complaining about racism and how hard it is to be a minority. And I'm sitting here like, okay, first of all, you're in a college talking about how hard it is to be like your race because you have to fight for everything. And I'm sitting here like, I know for a fact you all got scholarships to be here. I'm at I wanted to scream, if I was privileged for being white, I wouldn't be going to a community college. Is what I wanted to scream. But at the same time, I held my tongue because white girl. I wasn't allowed to speak. Does that sound like racism to you if you're not allowed to speak based on your skin color? Now, yes, I wasn't discriminated against in my youth because of my skin color, but you know what I was discriminated against? That I was harassed for? That I was actually pestered and considered dropping out of class because of the constant barrage of insensitivity? You know what I was discriminated against for? Being Jewish. And I just wanted to just sit there. It's like, oh, white people know nothing about what it's like to be discriminated against. I just want to say, you're discriminated against white people now, and I'm Jewish. You want to talk about discrimination? Sure, yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. In fact, I'm not, because I had to drop out of community college because I couldn't get scholarships. So, yeah, I don't care if this conversation, if anyone finds it, deep fakes it, and I get canceled with it later. To say that white is like, oh, you don't understand racism, you're white. Do you see the irony? You're assuming something about someone based on their skin color. But at the same time, I'm no stranger to stereotypes. I'm Jewish. I love bagels. I'm a white chick. Pumpkin spice is the best flavor latte. Because, pumpkin spice is just my flavor because I like pumpkins. I do enjoy a good chai, but if I had the choice between ordering a spiced chai or a pumpkin, I'm going with the pumpkin. So yeah, I'm no stranger to stereotypes. And I'm not advocating against assuming stereotypes. Because culture. If you want to assume something about someone's culture, that's not racism, because culture is not exclusive to race. You see, I grew up in America, in a place in my current location where Jews are non-existent. And then later in life when we found out we were Jewish and started researching into what that actually meant, that's when people came out of the woodwork saying like, "Oh, you're Jewish? What's that? That's so cool. Wish I was Jewish. Does that mean you can't like marry other people?" Okay, first of all, what the hell? Second of all, you want to know how many times people have said to me the Jews killed Jesus? Like, okay. First of all, that is not historically accurate at all. Because if the Jews did kill Jesus, or, Yeshua, which was his real name because he was Jewish, he's not Jesus, because Jesus is a Greek name that means Hail Zeus. No self-respecting Jew would name their child Hail Pagan God. Anyway, if the Jews did kill Jesus, they would have stoned him, which means you get him into a quarry and you throw rocks at him until he dies, because that's how the Jews executed people. No, he was crucified. That is a Roman practice. The Jews did not kill Jesus, the Romans did. So it's just, know your basic history, please. If you're gonna scream at me about not knowing things about the Torah or whatever, or like, "Oh, you're Jewish, but that means you don't believe in the Messiah." Okay. First of all, you don't know half of anything about Jews, do you? Because the Jews that don't believe in that Yeshua was the Messiah is like one group. The rest of them, okay, it's not one group, but it's the biggest group of Jews. A lot of Jews actually believe he was the Messiah because my Mosaic Judaism is an evidence-based faith. If there is no evidence to support a claim, we tend not to believe it. And now, okay, before anyone comes at me, not everything I say here is representative of my religion as a whole. This is my personal interpretation, internalization, my personal take on the matter. I do not speak for all Mosaic Jews, because Messianic we used to call ourselves Messianic, but then we realized that term just doesn't apply to us. Really? So we are now calling ourselves Mosaic Jews, which, yeah, it does make more sense. Following the air quote laws of Moses, which they were the laws of God. Moses just brought them down from the mountain. Anyway. How the fuck did I even get on this conversation? What happened? I went on a tirade. Oh, that's actually not bad. Okay. So yeah. Okay, my take on the matter. Racism as a whole is stupid. Doesn't matter where, how it's coming from. It's dumb because there's no reason for it. Now, you can make a educated judgment about someone based on appearances. Like, if someone is walking down the street and they're in a turban and are darker skinned and are speaking about Muhammad, you can assume they're Muslim. See, that's not being racist when you ask them, "Hey, are you Muslim?" based on their garb and the way they sound. That's not being racist. That's just making an educated guess or a judgment. Judgment is not bad. Because you need, okay, let's not say judgment. Let's say discernment. You're making an educated discernment about a person based on evidence. That is not bad. But to assume someone doesn't know about something, such as pain, or financial struggles, or having a government that consistently screws them over because of their skin color just shows a lack, just an ignorance that is only feeding the problem. You're not fixing anything by saying by saying white people are privileged. You're just stirring the pot. It helps no one. Anyway. Whew. I'm going to have to listen back to this audio to get me going. I'm like, how did I get on this conversation? I actually don't remember how I started ranting. I was in college. And I was ranting about being a poor white person. Oh, comfort food. Holy shit! I was talking about mac and cheese. And it got me on racism. What the fuck? Wow. ADHD at its finest. How did we get from here to here? Holy shit, it is almost 3 o'clock. I might end the stream at 3 because then I gotta go do the Amida, which is one of our prayer times. Which is basically where we sing the Shema, which is Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord in Hebrew. And then we say the Lord's Prayer. We do it at 9 and 3. And it's called the Amida. Or we just say, do you want to do the Shema? Because that's the majority of it. We also take this time if we heard any news about someone, and we just we have designated prayer times so that we didn't get to work, but still if anything need be done, we have that time. Something surreal that was very fun to experience was it was a unique experience. I wouldn't say it was fun because it kind of showed me whoa, jeez. There's my alarm for 3 o'clock. I'm gonna finish what I was saying, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream here to go do that. Celebrating Shabbat in Jerusalem was quite surreal and it was a unique experience. I wouldn't say it was fun because of we were in Jerusalem at the Wailing Wall on Friday night, which is before Shabbat, and it was so freaking crowded on the men's side with just, I'm going to sound racist, but with just a bunch of Hasidics. And if you don't know what a Hasidic is, they are a group of Jews that are, I don't want to call them ultra-Orthodox because their methods are very unorthodox. I mean, they mistreat the women are mistreated and uneducated. They only study Torah. They don't serve in the IDF, yet still insist on being able to vote on political, being able to vote on politics, even though they do no work. They contribute nothing to the Israeli society. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm not going to love and tolerate anyone who doesn't step up or step aside. Especially if you're going to make decisions that affect other people's lives that you have no say in their life, and then you're going to make decisions that affect their life, even though you're going to purposefully make certain laws fail because it would benefit another certain people just to spite them. Because you... Ugh. I'm gonna get mad again, but... Oof. Going to Israel was really, really cool. At the time, I didn't appreciate it as much because it was really hot, and I don't do well in heat. Like, I don't know if you can tell now. As soon as it got hot in here, I am getting really heated. It's like, it hasn't been this hot in 3 months, and I'm not used to it. I'm not ready. So anyway, I'm gonna finish her hair later, and I may or may not stream the other references later. Maybe I'll probably finish these ones because they need more time. But next stream I do. It's a Thursday. Might stream. Okay, I may or may not stream Monday because I want to try a new streaming schedule, or maybe Friday. Depends on what I'm doing. I'm gonna try and stream Monday. And maybe then I'll be working on either my Warriors comic, or I'll be doing these character designs. I don't know, depends on how far I get after. So, thank you all so much for watching the stream. Sorry I got a little I got heated at the end there, man. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. I started talking about mac and cheese, my comfort food, and then I got set off. I don't know. I'm not on ADHD medication, but my God, do I probably need it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. May or may not see you Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you later. Bye.